What has a 9-inch throat, can tilt into versatile positions, and has a 3-letter name? Our WEN 9-inch bandsaw.
Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing the 3-year review on WEN's 9-inch bandsaw.
All right, so we're going to start this 3-year review of this WEN 9-inch bandsaw. I bought this in March of 21. It was $129 back then. It's now about 189 bucks. And I'm going to tell you all the good things I like about it. I'm going to tell you some of the bad things I like about it. And you're going to see a lot of video of it in use. So stand by. The more than 3 years we've been using the WEN bandsaw, it's been used in almost every project, and we have fed it a variety of different kinds of woods, even some that were resin impregnated. Cut through every piece just fine. It's been its first year on the back porch of the old house braving the monsoon weather, till it finally found its home in our new shop, where it's a little bit better taken care of. A little angle like this, so you can make a cut in the wood like this at different angles. We found it simple enough to set up and use. And my students have had no problem making decent cuts right away.
Don't worry, fellas, this is the only wood I chop.
It's been quite handy for making router templates. It gets used for that quite a bit now. It also makes easier work for the router when you're practicing cutting headstocks, or you're actually attempting to cut the real thing. Here's what we like about it. The first thing I like about this is it's got a nice all-metal case. It's sturdy. It's not cheap plastic like some of them are. Each door opens individually. Some of the other ones, it's like one plastic piece for both doors. Not bad. It's got a nice blade tracking. It actually has got a decent amount of horsepower. I'll actually put the specs right here on the screen. And it comes with it's basically a foot table. It's got a 9-inch throat, so that means it can handle 9 inches of wood. It'll let you do an axis tilt up to 45 degrees. And of course it's got a little, this is a blade guard. It doesn't really have anything to do with the blade itself, but this is more to keep your hands out of it. And a few things that could be better. So if you notice, I'm going to tell you one of the things I don't like about it. Come in a little closer here. It's missing something. It was supposed to have had a little plastic gear in here that when you turn the knob, that used to be right here, it would go up and down. Those weren't in there too good. The plastic gear popped out probably about a year ago. It probably got sucked up in the vacuum cleaner. The knob also popped out. I think it also got sucked up in the vacuum cleaner. I think it might be in the current bag that I have, but I've got to go digging for it. So it's not mission critical. Like I said, this is a blade guard. Doesn't really have any function of the cutting. You can move it by hand, tighten it in place. That's still fine. It's not a deal breaker. When it was $129, when it's $189, is it a deal breaker? That's up to you. Has a miter gauge. I'll call it a miter guide, not so much a miter gauge. It just has way too much slop in it to be accurate. I mean, no, it's not going to be a nice one like this, not for the kind of money I paid for this. But it's just more of a caution. It's set up your angle some other way, and then just match it to this, and this is more an overglorified push stick is what I want to use this for. Has a rip fence that's adjustable, but here's something I don't like about it, and go ahead and come in real close if you would. You only can really cut about that much using this fence, because here's why. If you have it a little further out on the edge, okay, and you go to lock it, and you think you've got it, as soon as I move it, it has a tendency that it wants to shift on you. don't know if you can actually see it. It shifts. You probably can't see it from the camera. I measured it. It shifts a whole 1/16 of an inch from one to the other. So this will explain why a few of my first cuts were not really straight. Line it up. The best way to do it, line up your measurement, lock it down, go through, line up again, lock it down, go back and remeasure to make sure it's still what it was supposed to be. It's just not that accurate. Whoop. Also, this nut on the back tends to get loose, and when it gets loose, it will not lock down. You probably want to put some Loctite on that, which looks like there was blue Loctite, but it still came loose. Now, if you'll notice, look right up here. When I'm tightening it, what's happening? It's making that table pivot off of center, or off of 90 degrees. Now, is it mission critical that it's 90 degrees this way when you cut? Not so much, unless you've got something particularly you're cutting, but you've got to worry about it. You want to worry about the 90 degrees this way. If you do need to have it 90 degrees this way, the only way you're going to get it is you're going to have to basically come in with some kind of a shim and put it between the body and this mechanism to keep it from moving. It's the only thing I don't like about this setup. Otherwise, it moves pretty good. It is pretty close to 90 degrees as it shows on the dial down there, but never trust it. And what you want to do is use a square to set it up. So you can see that is basically perfectly 90 degrees. So my final thoughts on the WEN bandsaw is, for the money I paid for it, you can't beat it. It is something I have used almost daily. It's held up well. The blade changes go pretty easy, and it's built pretty sturdy. If I had it to do all over again, I would have probably even went to the 10-inch model, as it looks like it's built a little tougher, and I wouldn't mind having a little bit of extra footprint as well. But I have seen it go for lately, like about $169 on Amazon instead of $189, so maybe the price is coming down. I would recommend this for anybody starting out and setting up a shop.
I probably use the bandsaw the most for this very purpose.
Please be sure to like and subscribe.